Pastor Brian, and the name of this podcast is Be Strong and Courageous. I'm the pastor of Second Chance Community Church, where our mission statement is learning and practicing missions here to reach the whole world. This is podcast number 2, and it's day 52 of the CCP coronavirus isolation. It's day 16 for me because I'm work bivocationally in what was considered an essential business. The name of the little devotional is Filter Your Soul. I want to direct your attention to some things I have on the mantle here. I have a tray with a glass of water and a jar of pure olive oil. There is a bottle of food dye, and there's an ice cube. I also have this little candle here, and I want to light it and show you how pretty the flame can be behind the pure water or the pure olive oil. Kind of sparkles. I can see some gold rays on my hand there. Now this is all to illustrate something. Olive oil, it's pure, it's full, there are no impurities. I guess the same could be said about the glass. If we switched illustrations for a moment, I had the ice cube. It's solid. I can't penetrate it. And what I was going to do is freeze a bottle of water, or if this glass was frozen, I couldn't penetrate it. If I poured something impure in there, it would just flow off the top if it was filled to the brim and frozen. But these things are pictures that I'll make more clear in a moment, I hope, of something in our lives, and I'll just deal with the frozen thing first. The frozen bottle or the frozen glass or the sealed bottle maybe deals with a moment frozen in time or eternity. But unfortunately, we live in a constant change, and so we have to guard against letting our bottle empty out or getting tainted. So back here to the glass or the olive oil. I tested this during my practice run, and the olive oil didn't work, so decided to do it with water. If I had a glass up here of brine or raw sewage, and I poured a little bit in there, it would be gross, right? And it would probably spread something like this. Look, one drop of the, well actually it became 2 drops, but a drop or 2 of the food coloring, and look, it just spreads. It's no longer pure water. And if it were brine, you wouldn't want to drink it. You wouldn't want to use it in your cooking. You wouldn't want to use the olive oil to make your brownies, which, by the way, I think is a secret. Use olive oil and put some walnuts in there, and you get really nice crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside brownies. My favorite. But anyway, look, it creeps through. In the Bible, yeast sometimes symbolizes sin. There's a Bible verse, Galatians 5:9. A little yeast works through the whole batch of dough. So would you cook with it? A little olive oil in a jar of brine doesn't help anything either. If we reverse it, if we had a jar of brine and we put some pure olive oil or pure water in it, it wouldn't make that brine clean. Leviticus 15 and 2 Corinthians 6:7 infers that this is the same regarding sin too. If we have a life full of sin, just brushing up against something that's holy, like going to church once, doesn't make us clean. The bottle needs to be cleaned thoroughly and fresh olive oil put into it. So what's the point? The point is, since we believers are vessels of the Holy Spirit, we need to guard our vessels, our hearts and our minds. Ephesians 4:30 says, "And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, with whom you were sealed for the day of redemption." Sealed like a full bottle of olive oil that has its seal on it. So no contaminants can get in and no olive oil can spill out. Or like the full glass frozen. But we must guard our hearts. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life." I combined 2 versions there because I think it was more poetic. Above all, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Practically speaking, how do we guard the heart and mind? I feel that God reminded me in recent days that our minds can only process so much. and there's only so much time in a day. I would sit down and try to write an addition to my sermon or a godly entry in the Christian book I'm trying to write, and there was nothing in my mind except a jumble of all the news and violent action movies I'd been seeing. Television and smartphones and Facebook and YouTube, these things can be harnessed for good, but they are designed to be addictive, and they can poison our minds and our hearts.